presence of God is not important to us. I remember when our children were very young, and I'm sure they wouldn't like me to tell this story because they are adults with children too. But when they were like their children, I would travel out. I used to take a lot of trips, and normally, I would take a trip and I would go and shop, and if you've been a parent, you know that much of what you buy is for your children. So your suitcases are all for the children. You're buying toys and clothes, which they outwear every time. And so whenever I return from a trip, the children are excited. Daddy has come. And they come. And they come to the bedroom and the bags are there and they are pulling the suitcase. Daddy, open, daddy, open, daddy, open. And then I open it and start distributing the gifts. And they're so excited. And when the gifts are over, they run out of the bedroom. So what kind of children are these? They don't want me. They don't miss me. I've traveled. They didn't even say, we've missed you. We want to spend time with you. Oh, when you are away, this is what we did for you. Nothing. Just get gifts and run away. So being a smart man, I learned an antidote. So anytime I would travel and I'll return, and the children will come, they'll come, daddy, and they're happy, and I'm also happy, and they're looking at the suitcase. I don't open it. Daddy, daddy, daddy. They spend the whole night in the bedroom. I don't open the suitcase. I open it the next day. So they have to learn to be in my presence and enjoy my presence. So do you think maybe sometimes God also catches up on us? As children, he says, these people, the reason why they go to church and come for all night prayer meeting is because they want this, and the moment they get it, they are leaving. So, no suitcase will be open. I'm shutting the suitcase. Come to church, be at a prayer meeting, be in my presence, enjoy my presence. And when I think you love me and you know how to be in my presence, I will open the suitcase. That's how you treat children. And that's how Jesus called these people children too, shallow-minded. You only...
Audio Jungle.
So this year is the year of gathering with ICGC, and y'all know I have been consistent with listening to Reverend Mr. Otabo. I've been listening to him for more than a decade, or even a decade and a half, more than a decade and a half. And yeah, I have a lot of, most of my religious philosophy comes from him, most of my religious advices come from him. I think part of my foundation in Christianity is from his camp, and the reason is that he has a level of philosophy. He knows how to teach, he knows how to structure his sermons, and when it comes to planning and doing execution, I mean, he's top-notch dope. And when it comes to branding, comes to promoting church stuff, making church stuff look hippity happity, it's over the top, and I respect him for that. And even whilst he integrates new ideas and innovative stuff into his church culture, he has a center, and the center is always Christ. And that is one thing about him that is unique, and I've been trying to understand that scope, but it will take grace to do that. And yeah, so in this year of gathering, he has started another series of sermon, which I think I want to react to the second part, which is part 2. The title of the sermon, of the series of the sermon, is Taking a Step with Jesus. And I think I'm coming to react to the second part, and I took an extract from that whole sermon because it has a lot of extracts. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it has a lot. I wanted to react to a lot, but I mean, I don't think I have the time to do that, but it was a blessing to me. I couldn't sleep. I decided to, watch it, and it was a blessing to me. It felt like it was divine. God was trying to tell me to listen to his word. So I listened to it, and, I got some germs from it. And one of the germs is what I played earlier. And it's a funny story. He used his own, his own experience to describe how God relates to us. As a father, he travels, and I mean, he already said it, he travels, he comes back with gifts, and his children always only cared for him because of the gift and not because of he, the father. So he, had a plan, he hatched up a plan, and he decided to use the gift as bait to get his kids to be, interested in him and interested in like how he's doing and all that. And he likened that to the way God also relates to us, where we have to prove to God that we love him, we have to show him, we have to be in his presence and respect his presence before we, get what we want from him. And growing up, especially when I was forced to go to church, I used to ask my mom that, why are we going? Is it because we love God, or is it because we want God to do something for us? And I keep asking people, I sometimes even ask people in churches that, why are we going to church if all you want is to pray to God to give you something? And if that is the reason why you're going to church, I think we missed the mark. And I always feel like that, because as a human being, even when someone used me for something and the person doesn't even respect my presence, the person doesn't respect me, it feels bad. It feels bad, and I feel like it's selfish of that person. It's not even fair. So if that is not fair to you, why do you treat God like that? And another thing I've also come to realize is that when you give people things freely, they don't really value you. They don't really value what you went through to take it. They don't really value the thing. I mean, I think it has to do with experience. I mean, right now, if someone gives me something freely, I would respect it, because I've been through situations where I didn't have the chance to get it. But most of the times, people really tend to, neglect the presence of the one giving you the gift, and sometimes it's sad. And that is how people get angry in marriages and do all sort of stuff. But I mean, that's a discussion for another time. So basically, when things like that, when God also gives us stuff freely and we take it for granted, it's also an unfair treatment to God. So as Christians, I would endeavor that we need to acknowledge the presence of God, acknowledge what God is doing in our lives, acknowledge what he's bringing to our table, acknowledging the table he's bringing. Yeah. And that was a good analogy. I respect, and it was clearly defined and explained. Yeah. And I think that was my opinion about the extracts I took. Yeah, the name is ADB, and that was my opinion. I'm out dismissing. Hasta la vista.
You